We're only a few days away from the release of Superman at the box office, James Gunn's Superman, of which he has been front and center in so much of the marketing for this movie. And there's been some missteps. There's been some criticism. You know, Superman is a character that's been around for nearly a century. So virtually everyone knows who he is, and virtually everyone has an opinion on how he should be portrayed. So, of course, there's been some very divisive marketing for the movie, shying away from saying truth, justice, in the American way in every way that they possibly can. And, of course, some leaked reviews that have got out there, just one here or there, but certainly has caused some controversy. Well, now James Gunn decided that just a few days before the release, he would go out there and talk more about this movie, reveal more about this movie. And there's going to be a certain portion of people who probably do not want to hear this. James Gunn confirms Superman is about politics, immigration, and the decline of American kindness. Says screw them to jerks who get offended by that. Yes, thank you, James Gunn. This is what we wanted. We wanted a heavy-handed story about political messaging that gets forced down our throats when we really just want to go see a good old-fashioned comic book movie. Thank you, James Gunn. And here it is from Variety. James Gunn says Superman is about an immigrant that comes from other places, how we've lost the value of basic human kindness. And yes, it's about politics. As the cover story has, you know, this immigrant being led away in handcuffs. This is so made for modern day, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? James Gunn, let's get into this entire thing. In his Sunday profile with the Times of London, the DC Studios head went deep on the themes and ideas that drive his highly anticipated Superman. He explains that the superhero epic encompasses the story of America, and at a basic level is about a man searching for a better life away from his original home. Now, it's interesting, right, how you try to say, well, the story of America is really about immigrants coming to a place in search for a better life. Now, I think we understand that 250, 280 years ago, you know, all this time ago, it was a little bit different than the immigration we're currently talking about. I think you can probably admit that. And you want to shy away. You don't want to say that Superman's about truth, justice, and the American way, but you want to try to tell people that this is the real story of America. I mean, Superman is the story of America, an immigrant that came from other places and populated the country. But for me, it's mostly a story about basic human kindness, that it's a value and it's something that we've lost. Gunn acknowledged the movie's themes may be interpreted differently across political groups, especially considering the current nationwide unrest about immigration. However, Gunn stands by the ideals embedded in Superman and added that he doesn't care if anyone takes offense. Yeah, it plays differently, but it's about human kindness. And obviously, there will be jerks out there who are just not kind and will take as offensive because it's about kindness. But screw them. Yeah, it's about politics. But on another level, it's about morality. Do you never kill no matter what, which is what Superman believes? Or do you have to have some balance, as Lois believes? It's really about their relationship and the way different opinions on basic moral beliefs can tear two people apart. This is what we hear on basically the eve of the release of Superman. You know, Tuesday are the big Amazon Prime previews that they're doing, right? So that's really when a lot of people are going to get an opportunity to see this film. Then, of course, you've got your normal Thursday stuff and then the opening weekend. But just a few days before that, and these comments, right? Yes, did Superman come here from another place? Yeah, yes, in fact, he did. The idea that the story of Superman can be equated to modern day what's happening with immigration is laughable. Right? Yes, we do know Superman is not from this world. Yes, thank you. Did you know that Superman's actually an immigrant too? Yes, we get it. However, the comparisons between that, you know, an alien, quite literally from another planet, who crash lands in the middle of Kansas and is raised by two Midwestern farmers who just raise him as a human. He doesn't even know all this stuff about his own life, about his own story, right? The differences between those things, who is then raised as an American, and what we have going on now with, you know, illegal immigrants flooding the border of an already established country. The idea that you could present these things as, well, it's just exactly the same. I don't know if everyone sees it that way. But that's not what we have. When we're talking about what's going on right now with illegal immigration, the idea that there can be these big comparisons is kind of a little bit strange and laughable. But beyond that, that saying, yes, this is a movie about politics. Yes, it's going to rub some people the wrong way, but if they get offended, screw them. I don't care. This is how you're promoting the fucking Superman movie. And what's it going to do at the box office? That is anybody's best guess. We've had some people saying it's going to be a $170 million opening. But we've got a lot of other people saying the tracking's kind of remaining in that $95 to $125 million range. I wouldn't be shocked if that bumped up a little bit, but, internationally in China, it's not looking great on a limited number of screens, but it's not looking great in China either. We're going to have to wait and see. Projections can be wrong. We saw Jurassic World Rebirth overdid its initial projections. Will that happen the same for Superman? Maybe it will. We've also seen DC movies come in very, very far from their initial projections, like The Flash from not that long ago. But James Gunn decides, in his wisdom, just a few days before this thing actually releases, that he's going to tell everybody, yes, it's a political movie. It's about immigration. It's an immigration allegory. And if you don't like it, screw you. I don't care. Maybe not the best messaging, but one that I think everyone should have expected from someone like James Gunn.